we have worked on how to convert customary to customary measurements and how to convert metrics to metrics. Today we're going to work on converting between measurement systems. Before we do that, I want to talk about a couple of questions and just review a little bit with metrics. These were some commonly missed questions. So 660 hectometers equals how many meters? So remember, we use King Henry. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. And so meters, liters, and grams are our basic units of metric measurement. So if we want to change hectometers into meters, notice we're going to have to go from the H to the M, and that's going to be 2 places to the right. So we're going to, in the 660, we're going to have to move our decimal 2 places to the right. So here was the decimal. We move it 2 places to the right. Here's our new decimal, and we're going to cross out that one and put 2 more zeros. So we should get 66,000 meters. For our next one, we're changing 84 5/10 grams into kilograms. So grams are one of our basic units of metric measurement. Right here's grams, and we want to change it to kilograms. So to go there, we're going to have to go 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3 places to the left puts our decimal here, and we have to annex a 0. Annex means add in, and then this decimal's gone. So our correct answer should be 845 10,000ths. 84 5/10 grams equals 845 10,000ths of a kilogram. All right, one more. Erin cuts ribbons to decorate her solar system project. If she has 6 meters of ribbon, how many 63 centimeter pieces can she cut from it? Well, thinking about this, what we're doing is we're doing a division here. We have one piece of ribbon that we're cutting into smaller equal pieces. So we have 6 meters, and when we're cutting into equal pieces, that's division. And we need to split that into pieces that are each 63 centimeters. Now, we can't do that division yet because these two units are different. We have to change either the meters to centimeters or the centimeters to meters. It doesn't matter which one we do, we're still going to end up getting the same answer by the time the problem's completely done. I'm going to change the 6 meters into centimeters. So, good old friend King Henry. I'm changing meters to centimeters. So meters are one of my base units of the metric system, so it's under the U, and I want to change to centimeters under the C. So 1, 2 places to the right. So my decimal in 6 was after the 6. When I move it twice to the right, I'm going to now have it there, and I need 2 zeros. So 6 meters equals 600 centimeters. So I can come back over here now and say I really need to do 600 divided by 63. And when I do that on my calculator, I'm going to get 9.53, or 52 rather, 523809524. That is not the answer to the question, however, because the question says how many 63 centimeter pieces can you get? Well, I can actually only get 9 pieces that are 63 centimeters. Then I'm going to have some ribbon left over. This kind of talks about the amount that's less than a whole piece. That's what the leftover is. So my answer to this should be 9 pieces. All right, now getting to converting between systems. Converting between systems, you're going to have to use conversion factors. So this is a lot like what we did with converting customary to customary measurements. So we're going to still use bridge maps. We're still going to use conversion factors. I'm going to strongly encourage you that as you start to look at more measurement conversions, the first thing you really should do is look at the 2 units you're converting between. Check and see if they're both metric. If they're both metric, then you're going to use the King Henry. If they're both customary, then you need to use one of the customary conversion factors. If one of them is customary and one of them is metric, then you need to use these conversion factors because that's going to give you the information that you need to convert between systems. Something you might not have seen before is the squiggly equal sign. That's what I call it, a squiggly equal sign. That sign means about equal to. So 1 inch is not exactly 2 5400 centimeters. It's just very, very close approximation. All right, so let's look at our first problem. 7 feet is about how many meters? So when we look at that, feet is a customary unit, meters is a metric unit. So we need to find our conversion factor. Our conversion factor that converts between feet and meters is going to be this one right here because it has feet and meters in it. So we're going to use that conversion factor. 1 foot is approximately 305 thousandths of a meter. So I need to set this up using a bridge map. 1 foot is equal to 305 thousandths of a meter. And what I want to know is 7 feet is how many meters. So the 7 is going to have to go on top. The reason it goes on top is because 7 is a number of feet, and we put feet on top. And then X is on the bottom because it's a number of meters, and that's what we're looking for is the number of meters. Remember, lots of ways we can solve this. We can use scale factors. We can also cross multiply and divide. I'm going to cross multiply and divide because anytime you have something in a bridge map, that's always going to work every single time. Scale factors always work too, but they're not always whole numbers, so that can make it a little harder. So I need to do 305 thousandths times 7 and then divide by 1. And again, I know that divided by 1 doesn't change your answer. However, you should always be in the habit of using it just to make sure that we remember to cross multiply and divide. All right, so when we work that out, our answer is going to be 2 and 135 thousandths meters. So 7 feet is approximately 2 and 135 thousandths meters. Our next problem, 18 and 82 hundredths liters is about how many quarts? So liters is metric, quarts is customary. So I need a conversion factor to convert between them. When I look at them, those are capacity measurements. And so right here is the one I need because it has both quarts and liters in it. So 1 liter, or 1 quart rather, is about equal to 946 thousandths of a liter. So I'm going to set this up and put that conversion factor in. 1 quart is equal to approximately 946 thousandths of a liter. The 18 and 82 hundredths has to go on the bottom. It goes on the bottom because it's a number of liters. And the X goes on top because it's a number of quarts, and we don't know how many quarts. So when I solve this one, I'm going to do 18 and 82 hundredths times 1. And then I'm going to divide by 946 thousandths to get X. Now, when I actually solve that, I'm going to get 19.894 9175. I could put all that, but I don't necessarily really want all of that. I typically would say if you've got a whole bunch of numbers like that, a good rule of thumb is to round it to 2 places after the decimal, which would be the nearest hundredth. So 2 places after the decimal would mean my answer is 19 and 89 hundredths unless 4 is big enough to make it go up. It's not because remember you have to have 5 or more to round a number up. So we're just going to leave this 19 and 89 hundredths quarts. I want you to take a moment and try these two on your own. Remember to look really carefully for your conversion factors. Set up your bridge maps. Make sure you pay attention to whether the numbers need to be on the top or the bottom when you set up the last section for the question of it. Pause while you're working these out and then hit play to see if you've done them correctly. All right, as you take a look at this, 426 grams is about equal to 15 ounces. Take a look at how you set up your bridge map and what conversion factor you used. And then 18 gallons is approximately equal to 68 and 22 hundredths liters. Again, look at your conversion factor. You should have used 1 gallon is about 3 and 79 hundredths liters. And then look how you set up your bridge map. It's pretty easy to see on this one. You could have used the scale factor method and done 1 times 18, and then you have to do 3 and 79 hundredths times 18. If you had cross multiplied and divided, you would have done 3 and 79 hundredths times 18 divided by 1, which would also work. Again, one key idea when you're doing these is anytime you're doing conversions, be really careful to double check and make sure whether your units are customary, both metric, or one of each, because that's going to tell you what resource you need in order to help you solve that problem.